Hey everybody, good morning. Marissa Myers here. Happy Sunday. I was going to create a big long post about what I was thinking, and then I decided I might as well just go live because I have a lot to say. So a lot of people lately that I've been speaking with about health and fitness and about becoming a coach themselves have been telling me I don't have time. That's probably like the biggest reason I hear people saying they aren't getting healthy and fit, or they're not pursuing their passion, or they're not living their dream life because they're just so busy. So I feel like what we end up doing is getting caught in that rat race of getting things done, going to work, living a life that we really don't love, just so that we can pay the bills and then leave this planet, not accomplishing anything that we planned to accomplish. So what I often find is that excuse of I don't have time ends up leaving you stuck in a place where you really are not enjoying your life. So my thoughts this morning as I was walking, which it started raining crazy enough on me and I canceled my walk and walked back, was I started thinking about how I built my business, knowing that I didn't have time. I was a full-time nurse anesthetist at the time, working 40 hours a week, taking call once a month on the weekend, 24-hour call. And I was in a relationship at the time. He had a daughter that lived with us part-time. I had just gotten Tune as a dog, and he was having behavioral problems, and we were trying to train him out of that. And I just had a lot of responsibility and a lot of things going on in my life. And I get often asked how I built my business with all of that going on, because truly I did not have time. And the answer was, I saw a vision for my life that was different than what I was living at the moment. And I kept that vision in front of me all the time. I really wanted to resign from being a full-time nurse anesthetist and working in the medical field to being a full-time coach. And so I kept that vision there every single day. And I kept speaking it into the universe, because while I didn't have time now, I knew that if I made sacrifices now, that they would lead to extreme changes in my life later. I just saw that vision. So I made the time. So I know you've heard that you'll either find a reason or you'll find an excuse. And if there's something that you really want, I feel like you'll find the time and you'll go after it. I mean, I'm a busy person now. I own a house. I'm, pretty much doing updates and maintaining it myself, doing my own lawn care. I do have a cleaning lady. I have 2 birds, a dog, which require my attention every day, and a business, and I work part-time as a nurse anesthetist, plus my relationships with my friends and family, and, I'm a busy person, just like everybody else, but I find time for my health and fitness and for my business, because I know at the end of the day, those things are what's going to ultimately make my life, hey Laura, complete. So when I started this business, I didn't realize that I didn't even understand what it was, to be honest with you. I started with the Insanity program. I got great results. I liked the programs. I saw that it helped a lot of other people, so I decided to become a coach and pay that forward. I had no idea that it was network marketing. That was like a second thing that I found out later once I was already in the business. So for those of you who don't know, Beachbody coaching is network marketing. And when I understood that, and I always put fitness and health first. That's the first priority. It's not about the business. It's about fitness and health. That's the first priority, helping people be healthy, living healthy myself. And when I realized that this was a business where we put fitness and health first, mindset and living a positive life, and then secondary to that came when you put those first and you got great results and you were leading that kind of a life, that you could inspire others to want to do the same thing as you and become coaches and build a business themselves, that when we work together as a team, when I work and am successful, they are successful, and when they are successful, I am successful, because we benefit from one another. That to me was like the ideal job. I get to help people be healthy and fit, which I've always been into sports and an athlete and wanted to work on the prevention side of illness and disease. And I get to work with a team of people that when I'm successful, they're successful, and when they're successful, I'm successful. So we all benefit from one another being successful. Like how could, that was like the best job in the world for me. Like I could do this job and I could build an extremely large financially income that allowed me to retire from my nurse anesthetist job. So while I didn't have the time, this became the ideal fit for me as far as like the job that I wanted to do, and so I made the time. So I had little pockets here and there when I would go on my lunch. I wouldn't go and like hang out and socialize. I would work. I would come home at night exhausted after a 12-hour day, and I would work. If I had breaks from the operating room, like say I was a nurse anesthetist and, you know, there wasn't a case going in for 2 hours, I would work when I was at work. You know, basically I'd have 2 hours of downtime just sitting there not doing a case. I always found pockets of time, and then a lot of my time on the weekends was spent, you know, doing work. Even though I knew it took me away from spending time with my boyfriend at the time and his daughter, I knew that if I just did it long enough and made that sacrifice long enough, that I could create a different life for myself. So I'll put it to you like this. If your boss said that you could come into work, you had to come, like, so you were gonna lose your job unless you came into work for 1 more hour a day, but you weren't gonna get paid for it. But you could keep your job. Would you keep your job? Because he was saying that, you know, the majority of people would, because they're like, oh, it's a good job. I just have to work 1 more hour. My salary is good. I don't want to find a new job. I don't want to start a new job. So they would accept it and they would stay and they would work for 1 more hour a day, not being paid for that. But then all of a sudden, after they did that for a year, their boss was like, well, since you stayed and you did that, now you're going to be receiving like this crazy bonus, and your salary is going to increase by such and such amount, and you're going to be taken care of for the rest of your life financially. Would you be willing to sacrifice that year? I mean, you don't know that your boss was giving you that, but you agreed to stay, and then all of a sudden you got this surprise that, you know, you're basically financially free. That's what this business is about. So it's like you live your healthy lifestyle. That's the thing that we lead with. But then as you add that hour of time onto your day, like it's work, but you're not getting paid for it, at the end of a year, if you're consistent, you can ultimately build a very successful business where you are impacting a lot of lives and you're having financial freedom for yourself. And that's the vision that I saw. So that is why I pursued it with heart, with passion, with hustle, and I never gave up and made a decision that no matter how long it took and what I had to do, I was going to succeed, because I loved the fact that people helping people first, serving others with health and fitness, which was my jam, and then secondary to that is I can build an extremely successful business doing that. So my question to you is, do you have time? Do you have the time to take care of your body? Because if you don't, as I'm reading in my ACE personal training certification, if you don't take the time to take care of your body and your health now, you're gonna have to take the time to take care of your sickness later, because it will happen. And that I'm talking to people who are extremely unhealthy, who are not physically active, who are eating, you know, not nutritionally good, and who are overweight. Basically, that's the problem. And that's pretty much like they were talking about all these morbidities like heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, osteoporosis, asthma, all these things that are actually worsened with inactivity and poor nutrition. And that's like, I'm like reading this chapter and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly why I went into this business to start with. And it just so happens that it turned out to be that it's network marketing, and it was like fulfilled every single passion that I could ever have. So anyway, I am going to be doing another sneak peek into what I do starting soon. So if you want to learn a little bit more about exactly what it is that I do as a coach and see if maybe it's a good fit for you to get started on your own health and fitness journey and then, you know, lead others along the way, please feel free to reach out, send me a private message, and I'd be happy to share. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you later. Bye.